Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Hunters Hunted 2 Corruption. Join us as we tell the tale of four men bonded by their fear and hatred of the hidden monsters that reside in Washington, D.C. in September of 2009. Only time will tell if Jebediah, played by Adam B., Robert, played by Adam C., Walter, played by Chris, and Dr. Turner, played by Tillman, will survive together in this story ran by Andrew. Hunters Hunted 2 is a Vampire the Masquerade 20th Anniversary Edition expansion set in the World of Darkness. If you'd like to contact us, you can find us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM or find us on Facebook at Twin Cities by Night. We hope you enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome to the character creation session for our brand new chronicle, Hunters Hunted 2 Corruption. Today, we are going to be building characters and discussing backgrounds and things like that with all the players, and we will be kind of just going in depth as possible and going over the sheets. So first, I want to start with, let's address what is Hunters Hunted 2. It's a source book for Vampire the Masquerade 20th Anniversary Edition. It's like a sequel to the Hunters Hunted, which I don't remember what edition that's for, but it's an older vampire book. And it expands on the idea of mortal vampire hunters and provides you with different character creation guidelines and rules for that type of chronicle. So the rules we'll be pulling from V20, so if anyone wants to know that's what we're doing. We're using V20 rules for this, and you guys are going to need both, which I sent earlier, and a character sheet as well. I guess that kind of covers that. Goals for today are for each of you to be creating a character to play through the story that I have in mind. You're going to have a strong idea of who your character is and how they tie into the story and the setting and what relationship you have to the other player characters. We're all going to be working on this together to kind of build this setup. And keep in mind, I only have like one story arc planned for this. There's no real expectation to pick it up after the finale. So by the end of the session, I want you all to be able to say with confidence, this is my character, this is who I am, and we can just jump right into it next time. A few notes on the setting before we jump into character creation. The game is going to be taking place in Washington, D.C. in September of 2009. Some of the themes we're probably going to explore, maybe self-sacrifice, crippling addiction, community, revenge or redemption, things like that. So I guess with all that introduction out of the way, we can kind of go one by one and discuss a little bit about the concepts that you guys have in mind, what you're looking to play, and what you're looking for out of the story. So I guess we can start with let's start with Chris.
Thank you. So the concept I have in mind is I was thinking about playing an older gentleman, older white male, probably like in his 60s, who at one time was a respectable journalist in the Washington, D.C. area. Might have been like a White House correspondent reporter at one time, or, worked on like one of the major like ABC, NBC, whatever news stations, something to that extent, who really was just kind of known for being like a stoic professional, like wasn't an opinion guy, was like almost like those news reporters you saw like in the 80s, you know what I mean, 60s, 70s, and 80s, who were very like straight-laced and, just the facts, and were known for like quality reporting. But something happened to where, like in his mid 60s, he just either had like, he pretty much had like a mental breakdown, like a falling out that probably started occurring. I wouldn't know if it happened on like on a show or in his reporting, or happened behind the scenes, but eventually he became like a conspiracy nut. Like he went from being like this really respected Peabody winning, Northwestern University like graduate, to like this guy who pushes in conspiracy theories and has like a YouTube channel and has like, you know what I mean, a blog that he posts, stuff like that. Now, out of character, I have like ideas and like to where what led him to making that, you know what I mean, that change. I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later, but yeah, that's just kind of the concept that I'm looking for.
We're just gonna go over concepts real quick, and then
Okay.
we can dive more into, like
Mhm.
why you chose to fight vampires, how you even got introduced into supernatural stuff to begin with, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll delve into that in a little bit. But
Okay.
first, just kind of going over the concept, give everybody an idea of what the others are doing, because we don't.
Yep. Exactly. So that's the concept I'm going for now. So he's kind of like he's just living off of like his money that he, gained when he was obviously doing well and well known, and he's just kind of like investigating this stuff and yeah, so that's the concept I have.
Okay. Tillman, why don't you tell us a little bit about your concept?
I'm going to play as a doctor of chemistry called Gregory Turner. When he was very young, he was, well, kind of the typical nerdy kid. Not dressed very well, not because he was poor, but, well, because he was kind of neglected by his parents. So he was an outsider, probably never a member of any extracurricular activities because he didn't play an instrument, didn't play any sports, but very smart kid. Then, well, when he finished school, he attended university, studied chemistry, warmed up to the world a little bit, met his wife and, well, met his future wife, married and had a daughter. And things seemed to be going well, but then one day he got into a sudden car accident. His daughter was on the passenger seat and was, well, likely killed by a vampire. And Gregory was unconscious or at least shocked at the steering wheel and couldn't help her. So that's probably what got him to become very vengeful and try to kill as many vampires as possible.
So he's like a vengeful chemist, probably someone who uses his knowledge and doesn't do direct confrontation.
Yeah, I had the idea of him finding out that vampires fear fire, that he tries to build explosives or, I don't know, Molotovs or something along those lines.
Okay.
For a violent group of hunter thugs.
Yeah. All right. Solid concept. Okay then. How about Mitch? What kind of character are you bringing to the table here?
All right, so I'm kind of coming into this with the idea that this character might be my attempt at sort of a semi-comedic character.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So right now I've got him set up as a sovereign citizen redneck gun nut. You know, he was a general contractor, framing houses, had a little bit of experience with plumbing and electrical work. That was sort of his thing. He had a wife, no kids, he had a dog. They lived pretty remotely. He liked having no one around. And one night he comes home, house is trashed, dog is dead. He sees something hunched over the body of his wife, draining her dry, and he just snaps.
Okay. So semi-psychotic?
He's a little touched. Definitely vengeful. And he's kind of, he works a little under the table, a little over the table, doing sort of general labor, works as a janitor for a particular organization. At least I'm hoping that's where we end up with it today. But he then, he spends most of his free time collecting weapons and setting up his little secret base of operations.
Well, you said you want to do like a little bit of comedic character, and that's fine. I'm not looking to make this like super serious. If you guys want to take a little bit more cheesy, relaxed approach to things and just blow up vampires and have gun shootouts and stuff, that's totally cool. Like it's We have more serious games on our channel. We can keep the seriousness there if you want.
But he's just going to be a bit of a jokester. I mean, the game itself can be very serious if that's what you're
Yeah.
aiming for, but the character is probably going to be a bit of a smartass.
Yeah. All right. And Adam, what have you got for us?
All right. So I wanted to play a kind of like low-ranking FBI special affairs agent. His name is Robert Esposito, I think. Oh, you'll have to double check that, but I think that's what we have on the intro there.
Okay.
So my idea for him was that he basically he's like this really dutiful kind of like agent who's also just like really low ranking. He started off just in the joining the bureau, moving to Washington D.C. He has a wife and one son, just one child. Basically, he was like an inventory kind of guy. Like he's pretty overweight, so he was definitely more suited to like desk work and that clerical kind of stuff than like actual field work. And basically through working inventory, he like what his partner was like taking out like large amounts of equipment and stuff like that, which made him curious. And one of his colleagues in the FBI kind of introduced him to that world. And while he's like a really skeptical guy, he's so like I like the way that Hunter's Hunted 2 kind of talks about the special affairs division, how it's kind of like somewhat disbanded. It's agents that work on more mundane cases, but are sometimes called to handle these somewhat like supernatural kind of cases when it comes up. So would consider him. He's like this really doubting guy, but he's still, I think maybe something terrible happened when he was like initially involved. Maybe he lost a colleague or something like that, and that's what has kind of kept him like loyal to the cause of the special affairs division. And I would imagine that his involvement with it would make his relationship with his own family somewhat turbulent. Just as like a character, he's like a kind of like an overweight guy, probably about 45 years old. Compulsive eater, just usually eating all the time. Very stressed out, anxious person. Chain smokes when he can get away with it. Very into vices, drinking, sports gambling.
Sounds like the type of person who's like not gonna last very long.
I mean, he is somewhat of a coward as well. He
I just mean that like he's putting himself in like stress and like he's very unhealthy and
yeah, definitely.
okay. Well, some of you, I see there you talking about it. You guys, some of y'all forgot to say your names there. So I have Walter Bode as Chris, Dr. Gregory Turner as Tillman, Adam, or Mitch, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your.
Jebediah Hartwick.
Okay. Adam, you said Robert something.
Robert Esposito.
Something.
I just put it in the chat for you.
Okay. I am taking notes as we go. Yeah. So that's everybody's basic concept. Let's kind of talk about your characters. And the basic building blocks, the foundation of this person. What kind of nature, demeanor, what kind of like who we went over kind of who they are, but what do they do for a living outside of maybe just like the immediate job? How do they live their life besides just hunting? How do they what are their goals? That kind of stuff. If you have any of that in mind, if whatever you want to talk about, no particular order. If anyone has anything they want to just kind of delve into right away, go ahead. If not, I can call in somebody like teacher. You. Anyone?
I'll stick my hand up first, I guess.
Okay. What do you got for us?
All right, so as far as how he does his day to day, he's a janitor more or less,
Mhm.
taking care of what needs to be taken care of for the folks he works for, fixing what he needs to fix. A lot of crafts. His goals are, he's pretty ticked about what happened to his wife, so his goals are pretty much centered on that. He wants to build up his arsenal. He wants to provide for himself, make sure his land is safe, make sure he's safe, find the things that killed his wife and take out his vengeance on them. Outside of that, he likes beer, he likes football, and he's more than happy to just hang out and barbecue something when he has a free moment. He hunts too, does a little bit of that in his spare time.
Hunts or hunts?
Hunts like deer.
See, it's gonna have double meaning here.
That's true. That's
You're
true. It
all
does.
hunters of a sort. So, okay. What about how long has he been doing hunting? Like, when did this happen, and how long has it been? Like, is this a recent thing that his wife was killed? Is it has it been months, years, even? Like, how long has he been, at this?
So he's probably been at it for at least 5 or 6 years.
Okay. And why did he decide to hunt them down rather than, hiding from vampires?
Because he was just so freaking angry.
Just like trying to
So
direct
angry.
his anger.
Oh yeah.
It's an injustice, and okay,
It ain't natural.
it's not right. No, not right at all.
No,
So,
it ain't.
okay. Anyone else have a little bit more details they want to go over?
Yeah, I would say for Walter, what I mentioned earlier while I was thinking like what kind of like turned the corner for him to where he started like hunting them was the fact that I can almost imagine like during his mortal life, he was very careful about relationships that he was in because, like being popular with money or whatever, and him being like a very analytical person. And plus, he traveled a lot. He'd go to like war zones and stuff like that. So he never like really got tied down into a serious relationship. But like I would say, maybe like in his early 60s, he had like this fling with this lady in DC who, out of character, ended up being like a kindred, you know what I mean? And who was basically trying to like ghoul him for whatever you know what I mean, to have obviously um some kind of what's the word, influence, you know what I mean, and like media or whatever at that time. And I was thinking maybe like, and I don't know, we could talk about this, would be your call, like she was like a Melkavian or something, but he saw her as this beautiful lady who he's having like finally might settle down with in his older age and everything like that, and her blood maybe like awoken something in him, and she ended up getting killed without him knowing about it. So like his source of this vitae just disappeared. So he's a guy who basically is now somewhat insane, but also has that addiction, of kindred vitae. But he doesn't. I don't think he knows that's what set it off. But he ended up through research or whatever after she disappeared, trying to find her. All that stuff might have been like realized that there is like an underbelly of society where there are kindred. You know what I mean? And trying to
I think it
find.
might be better if the exact origins of whoever this mysterious kindred this woman was is more left up in the air, and you don't know out of character
Yeah.
or in character.
Yeah. I like that. That's cool. You know what I
So
mean?
like, yeah, all you've got is like, oh, this lady that you were really into, and her name and all that stuff, and then maybe you can find out some more information on her throughout the story. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Definitely.
So what kind of goals does he have then?
He just wants to either find her or find out more about like this like I don't know, some way between then her being gone and now he found out about a small idea about vampires, you know what I mean? And I think he in his head is starting to feel like there is really people who pull the strings in government, where before, obviously he was an educated man, he just kind of rolled his eyes and realized like, yeah, there's some like Rockefellers, whoever had like money and influence, or Kennedys, but like now he's like really thinking, oh, there's these people then in the shadows who are trying to run, you know what I mean, the government like that. And he sees as his job is now to root that out and to shed light on it, but also maybe hoping to find this lady who was his lover, and I almost, and I'm gonna shoot this idea to you too. I was almost thinking like he doesn't know what he's addicted to, so he's trying to find different things to like substitute that, like
Yeah.
like some pretty hardcore psychedelics or something like that. You know what I mean? That he'll do alone to kind of like maybe expand his mind and see if he can like put any pieces together. You know,
Yeah, that's
like
definitely
microdosing of LSD and shit like that. You know, just like sits there and it's insane. But yeah, like this is a fall of a
he's trying
man
to
who,
feed this like sort of unnatural,
yeah,
craving for something. He doesn't know what it is, and he's going to extremes
to
to
some, yeah, exactly. He's going to extremes to do it and also to like find the answers, but to like to compare like just physical image of him, like imagine like clean cut guy with gray hair, all cut all neatly, you know what I mean, clean shaven, wearing suits, to now he looks like Nick Nolte in his DUI picture, you know what I mean, just like raggedy hair and just like you know what I mean, just like barely, like 12 o'clock shadow, gray 12 o'clock stubble, and just like a hot mess,
a lot of people aren't even going to know who that is.
Yeah, I guess, right. Yeah, Google it. Nick Nolte DUI picture. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Tillman, Adam, either one of you.
All right, yeah. So for Robert, I was kind of thinking like maybe he would have had like a trusted colleague that would have been like the first person to take him out into the field. Maybe he would have been somebody who was kind of like poking his nose into this sort of like this activity that was going on in the in like this secret kind of division in the agency. And I think that like when he was taken out into the field, he, through his investigations with somebody else, he saw something terrible happen to them, and something terrible happened to their family too, also. And that
Anything
is kind of
specific, or-
I don't have anything specific in mind. I can leave that in your hands if you want. But I think that seeing that like kind of made him, it drove so much fear in him. He has a family himself. He just became insanely worried about their safety, and now he almost he carries that desire to hunt because he wants to, he really does believe that whatever the evil is, he needs to get rid of it to to protect his family, and as a sense of duty to the agency as well.
Okay.
And so I was thinking, like, he'd probably be just like the typical family man, would keep his what he does at work very private from his family.
Yeah. And it's
and,
kind of easy to,
yeah,
view
like his
as
wife probably would know,
FBI babe, I can't tell you.
Yeah, he can't talk about what he does. But he's a very stressed, very just totally like worn out kind of guy. Just always seems like he has like so much shit to do, and he's just always like stressing out over it, tearing his hair out. And I would say, his encounters with the supernatural are probably not enough that he like really knows like all the specifics.
So he probably hasn't been doing this very long then.
Exactly. And I mean, he's probably like in such a low position, such a low standing that he's on like a need to know basis as far, I'm sure he hasn't had the entire truth just completely let out before
Dumped
him.
on him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's probably not even really sure like what is going on. He's a traditional Catholic guy himself. Even though he, engages in like a lot of sinful behavior and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
He's one of
just
those.
he's kind of a degenerate, He's a gambler. He likes to drink. He likes just common like those types of vices,
He just goes and asks for forgiveness.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this, and then just ask for forgiveness. So one of
I
those.
mean, he's a guilty person as well. I mean, he definitely feels, like remorseful that he's kind of like a shitty guy, but that's
But he's
just
not
something
willing to
he
do
has to
anything
live
about
with.
it.
Yeah, it's just pretty much.
He's willing to have the I feel bad, but that's as far as it goes.
Well, that's like his
a little bit
escape,
selfish.
It's like he kind of it is selfish. It is selfish.
Yeah.
He's very concerned about protecting his family, and at the same time,
Is that what's like motivating him to actually be more aggressive rather than his usual like I'm gonna use escapism and just hide from this?
Yeah, exactly. Like his desire to protect his family through his work is kind of like what pushes him over the edge and causes him to engage in his vices, I would say.
So he's not a totally terrible person. He does have values and
Yeah, he means well, but he is he does succumb to his vices, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tillman.
Yeah, let me go back to the car accident. It all happened really fast, but afterwards, Greg swore to the police that the car was smashed into a coffee shop by some creature of immense power, and then it grabbed his daughter. Obviously, no one believed him, and they just thought he got hit in the head real bad. And his daughter was found, but well, they concluded that she probably slipped from the seat through the front window and into the coffee shop that they crashed into. So I guess for a while, Greg just tried to accept that, but couldn't, and well, was beside himself. And that probably ruined his marriage and maybe also his job. My idea was that he works for one of the large chemical companies, maybe Dow or Monsanto.
Mhm.
Pick the most evil. And
Monsanto for sure.
Dow is pretty evil too.
There it is.
Anyway, well, he had a dangerous incident that he caused at the company, and they immediately laid him off. Like, it was just too much. Like the best thing about it is that he
They're like, we
didn't
know
go
you're
to
going
jail.
through something, but like this is big and we can't like keep you anymore.
Yeah, he endangered
those talking to
himself and his co-workers, and maybe with some dangerous gas or something. So
Cause a nasty accident.
exactly.
Okay.
And also he just couldn't get along with his wife anymore. Like there was something broken between them.
Yeah, it put a strain. Anything like that would put a strain on your relationship. But having like this, like you're sure that it was this thing that did it, and not like it was just a car accident. I can see that driving somebody further and further apart to the point where like you can't connect.
Yeah.
How long ago in his past would you say this happened? Like how recent is this? Is he just got laid off like yesterday? Is this like a thing he's been dealing with for a couple of weeks or months? What?
Maybe a few months, but not much more than that.
Okay.
I would say
and the accident was how long ago maybe?
wait, we're starting in September 2009. Maybe in the last winter, either 2008 or early 2009.
Okay, so within a year.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. And so in the last couple of months, he's been dealing with this, new situation. Is he doing anything? Like, how is he, taking care of himself? Like, what is he doing to get by right now?
Well, I'm not so sure. Somehow he must have found out about some hunters. He probably investigated into the occult. I'm definitely planning to put some dots into occult. So,
okay.
People around him called him. Well, they pitied him, but behind his back, they called him a freak. Like he must have been hit in the head real bad because now he's focused on this hallucination.
Well, do you want him to be like a member of one of the like hunter organizations? Because there's several who like if you have that sort of background and that kind of motivation and everything, and you're in need of resources and stuff, you could always like you can be maybe he's been picked up by the Arcana, and
I'm not too familiar with the organizations, but yes, I think that would be a good.
Yeah, because they have like
background.
sorcery and stuff like that you could do if you wanted to like delve into like alchemy, path of alchemy, stuff like that. It's just options. Arcanum isn't just about that. They're about like observation, and some of them go out of their way to do a little bit more than observation and get back at the vampires. It's just how you want to play it. There's also, you could be maybe there's like some kind of government like the NSA is like feeding you information or funds or something, or maybe the Society of Leopold, or any number of organizations can back you.
Well, I don't think that Greg is the religious type.
Yeah.
And I think, at least right now, he's probably staying away. Like, he's trying to keep a distance between himself and all this supernatural or unnatural evil stuff. Like, he doesn't believe that it's from Satan or some evil divine power, but he definitely thinks that it's something that he needs to keep a distance from. So I don't think he's going to pick up any of the, what's it called, Numina anytime soon.
Well, I mean, if you want him to be like a member of like maybe he's being scouted as a member from the Arcanum or something, you could totally do that.
Yeah, if you think that's a good choice. Yeah, I definitely think he'd probably become a member of some kind of organization.
Yeah, it would just explain like how he's getting by. Is like he's got someone looking out for him and helping him right now. Maybe you put some dots into something like that, like a mentor of some kind, somebody who's kind of backing him up. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. That's the core concepts of everybody and like a little bit about their histories. You guys all have like a character sheet, right? You all got that either printed or like brought up on you. Let's kind of go over that a little bit. Some of that you can probably have filled out already. Tell me a little bit about, let's see, tell me about your natures and your demeanors, like how you plan on like role playing this character.
So I'll start. I have Walter's nature being fanatic and his demeanor being idealist. The reason that how I'm gonna play this out is I can imagine him having like some YouTube show where like he's constantly like preaching about exposing the light on the light being the best disinfectant of the United States government and world governments, and just like start like going off about all these things about how he stands on these ideals of like freedom and how but it's not like a political thing with him. It's like it's more like he just lost his mind about unseen forces controlling people. Not so much Alex Jones, where Alex Jones kind of ties politics into this guy's just talking about like freedom of the human race. Human race needs to be free. I'm already kind of working on voices for it, but in all reality, his nature's fanatic, where like this guy is just fanatical about like exposing like vampire society and finding this person who he is like infatuated with at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. If you guys need to know where they are, if you're not sure, V20 starts on page 87, goes from there. Tillman, do you have a?
Well, I was gonna pick the same nature and demeanor. I'm reconsidering right now. So, the thing is, I still think that Greg is somewhat introverted. So, I'm not sure if he would be as outspoken about his suspicions as, Walter would be.
Okay.
Maybe someone else can chime in, and I'm going through a list for a little bit.
Well, then let's see what Mitch has.
I've got nature as Bravo and demeanor as Trickster.
Bravo. Okay.
Yep.
And how does that factor into how you're going to play the character?
He's big, upfront, large, and in charge sort of guy. Does his own thing. Doesn't give a shit about what others think unless that he agrees with them. And he's not afraid to crack a joke here and there. Maybe set something up that he thinks will be funny. Watch someone else walk into it.
Okay. Hopefully nothing lethal.
Well.
Okay. Okay, it's one of those guys. All right. What do you have for us, Adam? What are your nature and demeanor for?
So I think his demeanor would be idealist. He definitely tries to always appear on the outside as for the cause. He believes in the greater good behind his work and behind what he does. His nature would be, I thought there was one degenerate, but I couldn't find it, so I guess deviant. But his nature his true nature would just be like I said, degenerate, just giving into his vices, kind of like taking like a more selfish route a lot of times,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's just,
Okay. So, did you see anything that appealed to you, Tillman? I mean, there's no harm in having the same one. You're gonna play it differently, I imagine, if you wanted to keep it.
Yeah, I'm considering architect maybe.
Architect.
Yes.
Okay. And how would you play that if you took architect?
The thing is, Greg keeps to himself, works on his things. That's always been him. Like that hasn't changed
Mhm.
really. But I think that could be his true nature. But maybe his demeanor has changed. So now he seems like a fanatic.
Okay. So he
More on the
has
crazy side of fanatic rather than the the outspoken political Alex Jones type.
yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good combination. I like that.
Okay, I'm going with that.
Okay. So before we start delving into like dots, right? Start filling all that stuff out. Let's kind of do a little bit of like a group kind of background building. What I want you guys to do, okay, is I want you to think about the other player characters, and I want you to tie yourself into their story in some way. Okay, you pick 2 people, okay, and I want you to make up something where you're involved into their history in some way for your character to be involved. Anyone can start if you've got something right off the top of your head.
I do. I
okay.
can think of 2 at least. I would think of more so it would be the first one would be with Gregory, and the reason why I would think is that after Gregory had the tragedy that the tragic incident where he lost his family, thought he saw something, no one was taking him seriously. I'm sure that he is of the type who'd go out there and try to do research and try to see if like there's, you know what I mean, like Google or whatever, and try to see what he can find. And he might have came across the YouTube show that Walter has. And basically he recognized Walter. He knew that Walter was a big name and like, you know what I mean, the media, the news in the DC area, whatever. And so he could probably relate to Walter in the fact that, hey, this guy started, and being highly respected, and something must have happened to lead him down this route. And the stuff that he's talking about is very close to home with, you know what I mean? Talking about creatures from the night that control us and all that, and all that's crazy stuff, and just going off about it. And maybe might have reached out to him through correspondence, and you know what I mean? And they could have corresponded, or they could be talking regularly after, of course, Walter vets him numerous amounts of time and feels comfortable talking to him, because you can't trust anyone that's just come randomly hits you up. So
yeah.
I
So
like
you kind of built off that kind of you're both looking for answers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And then the second one I can think of is with Robert Esposito, is because the government knows they're hiding stuff from us, and so he probably like found out inadvertently through his sources that there's this department in the FBI and everything like that. So like he probably at one point or another was like out there with like a little mini, like one of those little mini digital cameras, trying to record people walking in and out. And because Robert is the type who's like put on desk duty because he's like overweight and isn't like fast tracking up the chain of command, probably was like, hey, go deal with this guy, you know what I mean, shut him up. And they probably got to know each other from there, like, yes, I know Walter, you know what I mean, they're whatever, and I'm sure they have a relationship of sorts. And maybe they might be communicating. Maybe I would think it'd be cool if like Robert was like a source within this department that Walter can get information from, you know what I mean, since that Robert seems pretty adamant, like he wants to like defeat these creatures because of his family and stuff like that. So he might see, I don't know, I'd have to ask Adam, but Robert might see Walter as like someone he can leak information to, and Walter will go up on his YouTube channel and kind of like, you know what I mean, spread the word or find out what he can and not be so tied by a chain of command in the FBI.
I really like that idea. I think it would be cool if like Robert he knows Walter and he kind of believes in Walter's fight, So when he can get away with it, he will try to help out Walter when he can. But like, at times he's torn between his duty as an agent and, his wanting to help Walter with, what he believes is like the true fight, I definitely think that would be cool.
Cool beans.
So I think at some point Greg would have drunk Googled how to kill a blood-sucking monster. Would he get to Jebediah's website by any chance?
His Angel Fire site?
Oh, little stakes that like just spiral pink glitter behind them.
Oh my goodness.
No, but I can totally see Jebediah coming up and asking for advice on bomb making. I mean,
Like just straight up, like, look, I need to know how to make explosives.
If
yeah,
I
maybe
were
Jebediah is
to-
doing some work at the, at the office, and he is like, "Wait, y'all know about that chemistry shit, right? So what's gonna happen if I mix this and this? How
Oh,
big
so-
of a boom is it gonna make?"
So maybe you're saying you were a janitor, so you're saying like you're the janitor at where he used to work and like approached him about like making bombs after he had his like accident.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what you're doing, right?
maybe he taught me my 3 dots of science. You never know.
Yeah, sure. Or maybe you just had a little bit of a foundation and he's kind of been tutoring you if it's
Yeah.
up to y'all.
Yeah, I started off with the anarchist cookbook, and he sort of pointed out where it went wrong.
everywhere.
Everywhere. It's like, this is all wrong. Throw it away. Okay.
I like that idea. I think it could probably be like a relationship, like just before the accident at the company, like that. Jebediah was one of the few people who was like, "Yeah, I totally believe you."
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other ways you can see Jebediah being tied to another character?
Oh, the YouTube videos. He's going to do his internet research, and he's probably going to send some crazy ass emails. I saw one of them things eating my wife. I got a bomb shelter and some guns. How are we going to do this?
Let's do this, man.
Call me up, cell phone number.
I think Walter's YouTube channel is gonna be called Shadow Battles. You know what I mean? I think that's
Shadow battles.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like InfoWars, but like Shadow Battles. I have to figure something out like that. I don't know.
Man, I'm serious. No shit. Let's get us some hot dogs and some burgers. We'll do some grilling. I got a guy who knows how to make bombs. We can just set this shit up and go to town. What do you say?
All right. like So, ultimately, you're all kind of going to be linked together, and we'll be delving into this. You may not be like on the like intimate, friends or anything, but you definitely kind of know at least a couple of others, and are able to sort of, focus yourselves as a group. And you all have a similar desire to kill vampires. You know that they're out there. You know that they hurt people, they kill people, they're murdering monsters, and they're not good. And you all feel the same way about it. You all have that much in common at the very least. So as far as how much you might know about them and all that kind of stuff, we can talk about that with when you start filling out your knowledges and stuff, I guess.
Hello, folks. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded, one which wouldn't be drowned out by random posts and discussion, so that your media could get the attention you want? Well, we have the answer for you in a Facebook group we run called White Wolf RPGs Gameplay and Media. The group is specifically ran with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. We are currently over 1,000 members strong, and we are continuing to rapidly grow with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there. High Level Games, the industry's first choice in taking your games to the next level. We are a podcast blog and new media network at highlevelgames.ca. We have blog posts about all of your favorite games going up 5 days a week, and a podcasting network with actual plays and shows that discuss role-playing games, with more rolling out all the time. We are on iTunes, Twitch, and YouTube. Find out more information at highlevelgames.ca, a site that certainly isn't controlled by a shadowy board of directors of otherworldly origin. That's highlevelgames.ca.
Please, help. They're coming.
The Los Angeles metropolitan area is constantly growing and changing. The Central District is full of new buildings. The Hollywood and Wilshire districts, once far from downtown, now are part of which spreads past Beverly Hills and out to the ocean. But why is all this going on in Los Angeles? Why is Los Angeles an exploding city?
Neon Masquerade.
The Demon's Mirror.
13 Candles.
3 chronicles running through the undead veins of the City of Angels.
The Esoteric Order of Roleplayers Actual Play podcast invites you to drink deeply.
Go to eorpodcast.com and search the duets tag to find out more.